In the United States, what should you never do? Don't try to bribe cops when you get pulled over. I had some Argentinian friends immediately pull out their wallets and start pooling their cash when they got pulled over once. Fortunately, someone in the car noticed and told them to put it away immediately. I thought this was an obvious one, but my German exchange student would very casually walk on through people's properties, even going so far as to walk up to their houses in the middle of the night. This is a huge no-no unless you need help. Just casually walking around on people's properties would make them think you are looking to rob the place. Don't misunderstand the massive scale of the country. You will not be able to visit Vegas, Disney World, and the Statue of Liberty in a single one-week trip without taking several planes. The 48 contiguous United States is nearly twice the size of the EU, by area. It is fucking massive and a lot of shit is really far apart. In some states, you can drive for 8+ hours and not leave the state. Like, we have states the size of some other countries. You can't leave your baby unattended while shopping, etc. Like in some Scandinavian countries, you will get arrested. Walk around naked. Do not argue, fight, run away from law enforcement. Shut up, stay put, and talk to your lawyer. You ain't arguing your way out of that situation. Sylvester Stallone. Ozzy found out that you never pee on the Alamo. Take sticker price at the store as the final price. Taxes calculated at the register because it varies by city, county, state, etc. Put your hands in your pockets in the presence of a cop. When someone asks you, "Hey, how are you doing?" you shouldn't take that question literal unless you are close to that person. I found that people ask it out of politeness and not because they want you to tell them your sob story or that your day sucked. Answer the police without a lawyer. Call someone a cunt. Don't try to cheat the IRS. They will fuck your life into oblivion. If or when you're pulled over, always remain calm. Keep your hands on the wheel, or at least in view. Do not make any sudden movements. Always tell the officer before you grab something. Don't try to be a sovereign citizen, just cooperate. Don't let them search you without a warrant or their supervisor present. Do not in any way incriminate yourself, as they need to have probable cause to search. Somehow, if you're arrested, remain silent and ask for an attorney. Even if you've done nothing wrong, just remember anything you say can and will be used in court. Drive on the left side of the road. Never join a shady group. It'll only get worse. Be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Run from the cops. Trying to rob literally anything. Fastest method of taking the room temperature challenge. Be tourist and complain about how much the country sucks to locals. Never ever pee in the streets. In some countries it's tolerated. But in 13 states, public urination may get you on the sex offender registry. Don't go to Oklahoma, it's boring. Unless you are actively dying, do not ride in an ambulance. It will cost you so much money. If you need to get to the hospital, it's better to take a bus, taxi, Uber. Get into a fist fight. In some places that isn't a big deal. Here it has significant legal issues. And the other guy might be carrying and you could get shot. Just walk away. Never take a Mont's accidental curly fry. Drive between the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on a weekday. Don't ever, and I repeat ever, try to reroute a PKG through FedEx or UPS. Try to walk everywhere by yourself. Even if you're in a metropolitan area where things are relatively close together, you don't know the terrain or which neighborhoods are dangerous. Do anything in public. People like to record and post things. I live in West Virginia, so IDK if it's like this anywhere else in the USA, but never offer to drive someone anywhere with asking for at least $20 plus. If you do it for free, they will never stop asking for more rides. And obviously don't do this for complete strangers you meet in the streets. WV is the #1 worst place for drugs in the USA. You never know what will happen here. I've seen and heard of some fucked up shit. Get so sick or injured that you have to ride in an ambulance. They charge you $1,000 for a ride. Use Twitter. Don't assume that things that are true in one part of the country will be true in the rest of the country. Laws that are typically nationwide in most countries are often state by state or even city by city here, i.e. gun laws, laws pertaining to the sale of alcohol, age of consent laws, labor laws, etc. Additionally, etiquette can vary heavily from one part of the country to the next, as can things like cost of living, general lifestyle, general sociopolitical views. While this is true to some extent in most countries, in the US the differences between one state and their neighbors can be night and day, to say nothing of from one side of the country to the other. What's true in my home state, NJ, may not be true even in PA or NY, and will absolutely not hold true in DA TX, CA, MO, etc. Different people, different economies, different climates, different populations. It gets really irksome when I talk to people from outside the US who ask me questions about things, or make assumptions about what they will experience here, that are based on stories they've heard from Florida or some nonsense in Arizona. Remember, the US is a very large, diverse country, in more ways than one, and you might actually be better off treating the US like the EU and the states like individual countries rather than like just one, homogeneous country. In the state I'm from, it's probably best to be quiet about it if you're gay. As a Canadian crossing the border to the US, don't act fun or funny with the Border Patrol. Give them your passports, tell them what you're doing and such. They're hardasses. You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off that old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Anything controversial in public law. Once that cell phone is out and recording, bet your ass you will probably lose your job and your entire reputation. There aren't too many don't do's outside of common sense. Travel in pairs at night in large cities. Don't brag about where you come from is better, worse. Stupid, pointless conversation. The overwhelming majority of Americans don't care that you're visiting and are happy to accept your tourism bucks. The whole, when in Rome, thing applies to America. Enjoy the local culture and don't be a dick. Attend a sporting event in Philadelphia. Don't say the N-word if you aren't black. Don't visit East St. Louis. Not a friendly place. Don't hit ladies. Not your wife. Not a stranger. Not a little bit. Had a Filipino friend slap his wife twice and she called the cops. He was so confused the following days. We don't kiss each other as a greeting. It's just very awkward and weird. No one does that, so please don't. Never ask for Manhattan clam chowder in New England. Don't make eye contact with pedestrians in a large city. There's some people who are just off rocker or self-centered to make a scene or start a fight for looking at them. You don't want someone to get stabby just for looking at them. Assume personal space distance is the same as your country. Depends on where you come from. But Americans are stereotyped as being used to more personal space than some countries. Our Russian foreign exchange student was kinda weirded out by how far people stand apart at bus stops, etc., and was a little hurt after people scooched away from him on the bus, in class, etc., because, hey, we are all friends here, so let's be breathing the same air. Really should have added the serious tag to avoid the annoying meme answers. Never give a fuck when it ain't your turn to give a fuck. Don't pull a gun on someone. Because chances are they're gonna pull a gun on you. Don't try to out Pizza the Hut. Go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Please do not commit arson. This isn't US exclusive, but you still shouldn't do it here. Don't touch somebody else's car. In some countries where parking is tight, everyone leaves their cars in neutral in parking lots so that other people can move them around as needed, to make room. But in the US, people are very, very jumpy about anybody even putting a hand on their precious personal vehicle. ETA for all those who just can't wrap their minds around the concept or just can't believe it simply because it differs from their own personal frame of reference. Thailand. From mainstream news footage. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals co5 nhdco1 de closing square bracket opening parenthesis https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals co5 nhdco1 de closing parenthesis, and you'll see similar in Egypt and South Korea. And in Paris, but not other parts of France and Milan, people tend to gently nudge their cars directly into other cars' bumpers to fit snugly into tight parallel parking areas. It's hard for many Americans to conceptualize, but not every culture has this overly protective, uptight reverence of cars as if they are this sacrosanct extension of someone's own body and a simple touch of the car as some kind of taboo personal violation. Break into a house in Texas. Have a road rage fit, in Texas in particular. People have guns. A 6-year-old little girl just got shot in LA over a road rage incident. Never ever talk politics. Fastest way to lose friends, and possibly gain the wrong friends. Doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, there are always loonies on the fringe. Usually you should never openly drink alcohol in a public space such as the right-of-way, a park, etc. It's illegal here and getting arrested will really harsh your buzz. Not that people don't get around this by using water jugs or other opaque containers, but it might be an unpleasant surprise if you're used to more liberal drinking laws. Leave your luggage unattended. I saw a Japanese person do this at the airport once the way you would in Japan because it's safe, but immediately people began panicking and reporting it to security. Tipping is rude in other countries, but in America it's most of a server's wages. It's a shitty system, but you have to tip over here. Move to California. It's beautiful as fuck, but you've gotta pimp bitches, have a sugar daddy, and a high-paying tech job just to afford a one-bedroom apartment with no air conditioning. Be poor and/or sick. Forget to tip your waiter at a restaurant. Talk about Fight Club. Waltz into Grand Central Station with your friends Hippo and Giraffe to find your other friend Zebra who is attempting to take a train to Africa. Call the cops. If you are Republican, keep it to yourself, don't yell, "I support Trump." In public. If you're a Democrat, keep it to yourself, don't yell, "I support Joe Biden." In public. Make the assumption that you know the law. Our local laws change drastically from state to state. If you buy weed, for example, it may be illegal to drive 10 miles west into another state. Ask Reddit questions without serious tags. Don't take a shit on the salad bar at Wendy's. Eat at Applebee's. Never say the X in Bear County. It's pronounced Bear County. Also, green as green, Bernie as Bernie, and shirts as shirts. Move to Canada. We're definitely all a bunch of socialists up here, you guys wouldn't like it. Best to not even visit. Approach a Karen. Defacing the American flag. Get into a woo-off with Ric Flair. Don't ever sign any contracts that can fuck up your credit until you are mature enough to not fuck yourself. Walk up to a cop car when they pull you over. Don't get sick. Short, long-term disability, FSA, HSAs, insurance, none of it covers shit. You're screwed if you live or die. Drive on left side. Become seriously or terminally ill. You and your family will go bankrupt faster than you can imagine. Get out of your car and approach the cop when being stopped by a cop unless told to. Edit. Just added the missing second P in approach. Thanks for watching. See you later.